Expedition 33 didn't just meet my expectations, it exceeded them in ways I didn't think were possible. Sandfall Interactive has officially joined the ranks of studios I can't help but respect, like Larian, Warhorse, Grinding Gear Games, and Owlcat, but honestly, given their team size, what they've achieved with Expedition 33 might be the most impressive accomplishment I've seen in gaming. Yes, Expedition 33 is a beautiful game on the surface, but what Sandfall has crafted is not just a game with pretty pixels. They've created a transcendent experience unlike anything I've, well, experienced before. And as it turns out, I'm not alone. As of today, Expedition 33 has sold over 1 million copies, a staggering achievement for a brand new IP from a brand new studio with a team of just around 30 people. And the best part about this is that it's a turn-based RPG. A genre that some publishers and executives love to claim is dead, that players don't want anymore. Square Enix, for example, famously moved away from turn-based gameplay for its flagship Final Fantasy series. In 2022, Naoki Yoshida, a man who I deeply respect otherwise, stated that as graphics become more realistic, the combination of that realism with the very unreal sense of turn-based commands doesn't really fit together. He implied that modern players don't have the patience or desire for the strategic pacing of turn-based battles. Meanwhile, EA couldn't even hide their contempt for traditional experiences. In 2022, they posted a now infamous tweet. "They're 10, but they only like playing single-player games." The backlash was immediate, but it showed a deep industry bias, a belief that if a game wasn't chasing trends or online engagement metrics, it wasn't worth making. And yet, here we are. Against all industry assumptions, Sandfall built something that stands as a testament to passion over trend chasing. They didn't need flashy gimmicks or desperate monetization schemes to succeed. Instead, they crafted a world players genuinely wanted to be a part of, one that respects their time and intelligence. It's a powerful reminder that creativity and heart are still alive in an industry increasingly dominated by metrics and marketing strategies. What sets Expedition 33's world building apart isn't just its stunning Belle Epoque-inspired architecture, it's the way that it marries FromSoft's environmental storytelling philosophy. Much like Bloodborne, the game uses atmosphere, tiny environmental details, and visual storytelling to reveal how people lived, how they suffered, and how they fell. Story beats aren't delivered through forced exposition, they're unveiled naturally, piece by piece, as you explore. Every painting, every ruined shrine feels like it has a story to tell. Sandfall believed in their vision, they took the risk, and they proved that if you respect your players and create something meaningful, people will show up. The combat system is a perfect example of that respect. It's insanely addictive. Even after hours of mastering parries, it never stops feeling good when you perfectly deflect an attack, especially once you start unlocking much stronger pictos and abilities. Stuff like gradient counters deal massive damage. Cinematic team finishers are ridiculously satisfying. There's real innovation here too. Unlike traditional turn-based systems, Expedition 33 blends action elements directly into every fight. Parries and dodges happen in real time, even during enemy turns, and most enemy attacks have slight timing delays that force you to stay sharp. It's about reading your opponent and reacting in the moment.
I'll do it. On me. Take cover.
This makes the combat deeply engaging for both turn-based purists and action fans alike. And as a fan of both genres, I have to say that I absolutely love this system. You see, having to dodge and parry during enemy turns keep you locked in and thinking every second. It's the kind of system you don't just button mash through, you learn it, you feel it, every success feels earned. And speaking of feeling earned, the world itself invites exploration in the best way possible. Finding lost gestrels scattered around taps straight into that collector part of my brain, rewarding you with cosmetics, outfits, and gear. Pretty much everything you find is meaningful, whether it's the loot that improves your party through stronger pictos, weapons, stunning outfits, or simply breathtaking vistas that are a reward in themselves. No filler, no checklist fatigue, just pure, thoughtful discovery. There's even a camp function where you can upgrade your weapons, manage your party, and catch little moments of character dialogue that make the team feel alive.
Tell me something dark and melancholy and personal.
And speaking of personal stuff, Expedition 33 doesn't just do dark fantasy, it does people incredibly well too. Take Eski, for example, a total powerhouse who could crush anything in his path, but half the time he's too lazy to bother. Yet when it really matters, he's there, like a giant emotional safe haven for the group. Then we have Verso, voiced by Ben Starr, and he's another standout. You don't start out as friends, but over time you can actually feel him growing closer to the group until he's someone you trust, and not just because the script tells you to. We gotta talk about Jennifer English as Mayel though. She constantly had me on the verge of tears. She's really the emotional heart of the group, and a lot of the game's story revolves around her as the central figure. You can't help but feel protective of her, especially as the plot digs deeper into her past and motivations. Lune, the team's unofficial leader, immediately wins you over with her steady presence and fierce resolve. She's the driving force behind keeping the team focused and hopeful through their darkest moments, determined to take down the Paintress and save everyone. Ciel brings a softer, more introspective energy. She's someone who's clearly battled deep trauma all her life, but instead of being broken by it, she's grown more carefree and is emotionally grounded. It makes her confident and even more powerful. And then, of course, we have Gustav, played by the daredevil himself, Charlie Cox. And let's just say that Gustav is one of my favorite Big Brother type characters in a video game.
No, promise me. Run. Especially if we meet the man from the beach. We can't face him. You see him, you run.
Only if you do the same.
Oh, I'm running as soon as I see a strand of white hair, trust me. You won't even see me, I'm running so fast.
We have Monoko as an absolute scene stealer. Hilarious, powerful, and constantly trying to impress everyone, he adds levity to the story without ever feeling out of place. His brash fighting spirit and huge heart reminded me a little of Barrett from Final Fantasy VII, in the best way possible.
Ladies, could I interest you in a duel?
And then there's Andy Serkis, bringing terrifying life to Renoir, one of the main villains aside from the Paintress. Serkis absolutely crushes the role, delivering every line with a kind of majesty that makes Renoir unforgettable. Now, of course, it's not all perfect. The movement, especially when it comes to mantling over rough terrain, can be pretty clumsy. Some boss fights feel a little messy, particularly ones with unblockable attacks that almost force you into defensive builds just to survive. There's a raft-based beach volleyball minigame that, no exaggeration, might be the worst minigame I've ever played. And then there's a puzzle involving walking on suspended picture frames where the camera just does not want to cooperate. But honestly, none of these rough edges take away from the magic. Because every time I hit one of those frustrating moments, the game would immediately pull me back in with a breathtaking vista, a killer fight, a mysterious new journal entry, or just a quiet, heartfelt moment around the campfire. The music deserves special mention too. It's absolutely masterful, with the main theme echoing through so many of the tracks, weaving itself into the emotional fabric of the story. With all this said, when you look at the wider gaming landscape, Expedition 33's success becomes even more impressive. In the last few years, we've seen countless massive studios with hundreds of developers and tens of millions in budget fail to deliver. Each one is a case study in how more money and more people don't automatically make better games, how chasing trends, safe design, and bloated production pipelines create soulless products that nobody remembers. Meanwhile, Sandfall, with just around 30 people, crafted something unforgettable. Expedition 33 shows that passion, artistry, and genuine respect for players can triumph over all the industry noise telling you what you should make instead. Expedition 33 proves that any genre can succeed if you can make it compelling, dynamic, rewarding, and fun. Will it change the industry's mind about turn-based games and single-player games? Maybe not overnight. Microtransactions and live service models are still too profitable for big publishers to abandon easily. But following the success of Baldur's Gate 3, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, and now Expedition 33, it's clear. Gamers all over the world are hungry for meaningful games. Turn-based, action, strategy, genre doesn't matter. Heart matters. As for a sequel, honestly, Expedition 33 feels beautifully complete, but the world of Clair Obscur hints at something far larger, a universe with layers we've only just begun to scratch. And if Sandfall ever decides to take us back into that world, I'll be first in line to see what stories they have left to tell. They made something beautiful and bold and human, and they proved the entire gaming industry wrong in the process.